Now, the External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar has briefly met the Pakistan National Assembly Speaker Ayaz in Dhaka on the sidelines of the funeral of the former Bangladesh Prime Minister Khaleda Zia, marking the first high-level interaction between the leaders of the two countries since the Operation Sindoor. Now, Bangladesh's interim government chief, Mohammad Yunus, shared photographs of the interaction, noting that Sadiq and Jaishankar exchanged greetings in Dhaka. He, in fact, mentioned these photos and also went on to say that Sardar Ayaz Sadiq, Speaker of the National Assembly of Pakistan, exchanges greetings with the Indian External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar in Dhaka on Wednesday ahead of the funeral program of the former Bangladesh Prime Minister Khaleda Zia. In fact, Mohammad Yunus also shared the pictures of this brief meeting, and these are the pictures of the two leaders who have met in Dhaka in Bangladesh. Consulting editor Shinjoy Chaudhary on the broadcast with us. And Shinjoy, significant meeting, and the External Affairs Minister is of course in Dhaka and has met the Pakistan speaker. What are the details?
Well, first of all, when two leaders, the speaker of a country and the External Affairs Minister of another country, come face to face at a public function, at an important public function in the neighborhood, then very clearly you can't turn away from each other regardless of which country it is. You shake hands. But the important point is, this is no way it can be said that this was the breaking of ice. This is very clearly a gesture that is really about courtesy. You are meeting, in front of you is the speaker of another country. So you shake hands. But it does not mean that this is the beginning of a relationship that is in very difficult...
Because India has been very clear about its stance with Pakistan, isn't it? Shinjoy, my apologies. Do stay with us just a moment. I want to introduce Robinder Sachdev, who has also joined us on the broadcast. Mr. Sachdev, how do you look at this meeting? Should we read too much into it, or was it just a formal meeting because the two leaders happened to be in Dhaka?
I would. If you're talking with a handshake with the Pakistan speaker, is that so?
Yes.
Yeah, so I would not read anything into it, absolutely nothing into it. Yeah, sure, another thing could have been they may not have even had a handshake. That would have been another aspect, I mean, Jaishankar could have bypassed him, or maybe even the handshake would not have been there. But yeah, a handshake is there, so it's okay, but nothing much to read into it. Exactly as you're saying, a courtesy handshake, that's it, a courtesy handshake.
Okay, and Mohammad Yunus sharing these pictures, of course, he also, while sharing these pictures, has not really said much except for saying that the two have met in Dhaka ahead of the funeral program of the former Bangladesh Prime Minister Khaleda Zia. But he is the one who put out these pictures. You're saying that not too much to read into it. It's a courtesy meeting. Our position, India's position, remains the same.
Yes, I'm actually not able to hear you very clearly.
Okay.
But Yunus is sharing photos. You're saying which photos, for example? Sorry.
The pictures that have been shared by Mohammad Yunus. Mr. Sachdev, I'll try and reconnect that line with you. Thank you for joining us. But Shinjoy, just as you were mentioning as well, that India's stand has been very clear, and we have zero tolerance towards terror. And that is a position that India has been very, very clear about. This is, of course, a courtesy meeting because the External Affairs Minister is in Bangladesh for the funeral of Khaleda Zia.
Talks and terror cannot go together. That's really the bottom line. So as long as there is terror, there can be no talks. And these were not talks. Here was the Speaker of the Bangladesh Parliament, and here was the External Affairs Minister of India. They happened to come face to face. So it is only a courteous gesture by the Indian Foreign Minister, the Indian External Affairs Minister. You cannot accuse Dr. S. Jaishankar of not being courteous. But it's one thing to be courteous and it's one thing to begin talks. It's a completely different thing to begin talks. So in this case, it is about courtesy. It is not about reopening a very difficult relationship.
Absolutely. In fact, we have Ambassador KP Fabian also on the broadcast with us. And good morning, Ambassador. Would you say the same, that there's not too much to read into this meeting? It was just a meeting that took place in the sidelines of the funeral in Bangladesh, because these are pictures that have been shared by Mohammed Yunus of the External Affairs Minister with the Pakistan Speaker.
Thank you. Good morning and Happy New Year to you and to all our listeners.
Thank you, sir.
Our External Affairs Minister, Dr. Jaishankar, did the correct thing. It was not a prearranged meeting or anything. He happened to meet him, who was close by, the speaker, and they greeted each other. It doesn't mean reopening of a dialogue, but at the same time, it shows that India has a good habit of retaining courtesies even when the relations are bad. And that is something which I hope will be sort of promoted in the year that is just dawned.
Okay, all right. Not too much to read into this. That's what you're saying. Ambassador, thank you for joining us. India's stand is very clear. Talks and terror can't go hand in hand, but this was a courtesy meeting that took place in Bangladesh. Remember, the External Affairs Minister is in Dhaka for the funeral program of the former Bangladesh Prime Minister Khaleda Zia. And there are leaders from the entire region who have gone to Dhaka for this funeral. And the External Affairs Minister also happens to be in Dhaka for this meeting. So, Srinjoy, experts continuing to say that there is not too much to read into this. This is a courtesy meeting, and we've seen such meetings happen previously as well. But these are courtesy meetings that remain just there, courtesy meetings, because India's stand is very clear. And as far as talks or any normalization of ties are concerned, that can only happen when Pakistan acknowledges the terror that's emanating from its soil.
All Pakistan has to do for talks to start is to close down the terror camps. That's all it has to do. And once the terror camps close, then India will be the first country to come and to say that, yes, let's have talks. And this terror extends to not just Pakistan, to India, but the terrorists are also going into Afghanistan. And this is hurting not just India, but also Afghanistan. So the terror camps are there. And as long as the terror camps are there, these talks cannot begin. So if the External Affairs Minister comes face to face with the Speaker of the Pakistani Parliament, then clearly it would be very discourteous to turn his back. So the right thing to do, and that is the Indian way, is to be courteous. And Dr. Jaishankar was courteous. He shook hands, and that is it. So that cannot be construed as a reopening of dialogue. That is really the bottom line. India is making it clear that we as a people are courteous. And when we meet people, we shake hands with them. But that does not mean that we begin negotiations with them even when they continue to run a terror establishment.
Okay, all right, Srinjoy, thank you for joining us with those details.